Welcome back to the Dawn Show. We are live and we are local, and I think we all have a story about the Schuylkill Center, the rehab clinic for animals. Welcoming back Mike and Camilla from the Schuylkill Center for education and environmental education. But, you know, for my story, it was that my old buddy, the German Shepherd, finds a little baby raccoon.
Right.
The mom must have been hit by a car. He takes the baby in his mouth, gently up to our back steps, and starts barking. And of course, we put the little baby, tiny, looked like a little kitten. We thought it was a kitten. Doesn't harm it. And of course, what do you do in Philadelphia? You take it to your rehab center, and then they raised it until they could release it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the clinic is on Port Royal Avenue in Roxborough. And they get 3,200 animals a year. It's an amazing number.
That is amazing.
Plus they take about 11,000 phone calls from people who find animals and don't know what to do with it. So they take in injured, orphaned, abandoned animals. There was famously a bald eagle found by a cop lying face down in a pool of blood in a synagogue parking lot in Broomall. Calls the game commission. The game commission knows about us, so somehow the eagle comes to us. It's alive, so we're not 100% sure what happened to it, but Rick and Michelle are two rehabbers. They're just gifted with working with animals. They got the eagle up and out again, so it's back in the wild.
That's
about
amazing.
60% of the animals that come there are released back into the wild.
Which is wonderful.
It is wonderful.
So tell me about the story. We have a picture of a hawk and its tail. You had to put, look at this.
This is a Cooper's hawk. This is so MacGyver. It's amazing. So a Cooper's hawk comes into us. It's alive, but its tail's been ripped off. And apparently peregrine falcons don't like Cooper's hawks. And if they see one, they'll fly through the air at it and rip scrape the tail. So this poor Cooper's hawk can't fly without a tail. So Rick has this extraordinary freezer, which Vincent Price would have loved. It's a freezer full of animal parts.
Wow.
and he has in there, he just happens to have a frozen Cooper's hawk. And so he lays the two hawks side by side, and the live one has been drugged, and so it's a little bit woozy, and its head's covered. So trying to calm it down, he's got two people holding it down, and he cuts a feather from the dead Cooper's hawk, puts a little bit of piece of little bamboo from a bamboo skewer for cooking food, puts a bamboo skewer in with super glue, and then cuts a nice clean break in the same tail and same feather in the live one, and puts super glue on it. And so using Chinese bamboo skewers and super glue, he one by one implants a new tail on the old tail. It's called imping for implanting, but that hawk flew again.
That is amazing.
With a brand new tail.
And are some of the people volunteers who are at the rehab?
Totally.
Most of the people that do this important work are volunteers.
Yeah, volunteering there it's an amazing commitment. So you have to sign up for a regular shift, and the shifts are, I think, at least a 4-hour shift, the same one once a week. So they have a cadre of people. I think it's about 60 people who are volunteers. We occasionally do volunteer trainings in the winter to get ready for the spring season. Spring season's when the clinic really erupts with baby animals.
Lots of baby squirrels.
Lots of baby squirrels. I think we're not doing one for a little while yet. So we have a big group right now, and pretty soon they'll, So look at our website and you'll always see if we're having a training for the clinic.
You know, when I look at all these beautiful pictures, and I think about the thousands of animals that the center heals and puts back into the wild, the hundreds of thousands of children and adults who are educated here. You're always looking, though, for funds, because this is a nonprofit. This is not a government organization. You rely on the community also to be the wind beneath the wings of this special place. Yeah,
we're doing a year-end appeal specifically for the wildlife clinic. So if you would like to help us with the rehabilitation of all these injured, orphaned, sick animals, that would be great. So that information's on our website as well. But we traditionally do a year-end appeal for the clinic. It's incredibly helpful.
You know, the mission is interesting because it's to become one with nature, to bring together nature and people. Why do you think it's so important in this day and age to educate young and old about nature, about the environment?
Well, you know, one of the things that I think is most important is just sort of connecting ourselves back to our roots, so to speak. I mean, we've come a long way from living really, really closely with nature. And I guess that people see that as progress. The further we separate ourselves from nature and from living outside and being dirty, it's like, oh, we've arrived, we've made it big. And now we've reached a point where it's time to sort of look back and make those connections, because most of our medicines, the things that we've learned, things that we know about and take for granted, came from years and years of men and women just interacting and studying nature on a long-term basis. So I think those things are important. And it's also important, you know, we've reached this point where, you know, we have so much, we have so many things, we take for granted, and but yet somehow Americans are still unhappy, and I think a large part of that is just not going outside, taking a walk, and just enjoying the sunshine a little bit.
Walking on sunshine.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Mike and Camilla. No excuses. It's going to be sunny and beautiful this weekend. Mike and Camilla with the Schuylkill Center for Environmental Education, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Dawn.
This weekend at the center, Halloween, hay rides, campfires, s'mores. You got to get there. Have a great day.